So guys, this is going to be a little bit longer of a video because I couldn't fit it into a minute. So I keep going back here lately to watching how slow things are going with Mercury retrograde and hearing that thing that the angels told me just here last week of, we've been waiting for you. So I finally did a reading for myself and said, what are you waiting for? Why are you waiting for me? What are you wanting me to do? And I thought about some people that had commented on one of my videos. It's a March 29th video. And I thought to ask people, what have you noticed you've made changes on in the past couple of years? What kind of psychic dreams have you had? I can't remember the title of the video that I did, but it was done on March 29th. And I had a couple of people go, oh my God, that's like so enlightening to me. Please keep going. And then it kind of like fell away. And I don't know if it's my ADHD or it's just the way the universe works. But I listened to it like 10 times because I was channeling during part of it. And I'm like, what are they trying to tell me here? And one of the things I keep getting is time is not linear. Whereas we just see day to day to day. The angels, just like I pointed out in that Adam Sandler video, little Nicky, the angels are the veil between the worlds is thin. So they're in the same line with us in another reality, but at the same time, it's just like some of those near-death experience videos that I've seen where you can see. I've looked at quite a few of those, and here and there, people will mention, "Well, I could see all the way around." In other words, when you're in a linear experience day to day, all you see is what's in front of you, or when you look to the right, when you look to the left, all you see is that. But if you've passed, and people that have had near-death experiences have had this, they can see all the way around. Whatever they focus on, that's what they see. And I already know from some dreams I had back when I was way younger that that's true. That you can see all the way around you. It's time is not linear on the other side when you no longer have a physical body. And the angels are pretty much the same way in my mind, in my mindset, because everything, you can change everything with your mindset, folks, because they do not see going forward because they have no physical body. They can see 360 or 380 degrees. I'm not no mathematician, okay? I've always had a math deficiency. Forget algebra. I never, ever made it that far. I just don't understand exchanging one letter for another. It just doesn't, I just can't compute it in my mind. I'm wired differently. So are people with Asperger's and any kind of learning disability. We are wired differently. Our brains are not made the same way, though it comes from the same part of the brain. So if I can't see things that are behind me, to the left, to the right, then I'm seeing linear. But for them, time is not linear. So them telling me that made me realize, after listening to that video from March 29th about psychic dreams and how much I've grown, how much maybe you've grown for the past couple of years. Because my major trauma that made me wake up and start smelling the coffee or becoming awakened was in 2020. COVID hit, Will passed away, Erin killed herself. Lots of trauma from September 2020 to the end of summer in 2020. I mean, within less than a year, or from 2019 to 2020, because 2019 is when I got COVID for the first time and the doctor didn't know what it was. And then COVID hit in that April, and then Will and Erin and all that trauma. And that's when I started getting boom, boom, boom. I started getting angel messages. My ears were ringing, left ear, right ear. And I was trying to figure out what the hell was going on. And then when I did that video on March 29th of this year, I was, thinking about, well, how much have people changed in the past few years? Because sometimes they just come to me, but 9 times out of 10, someone will say something, and that's how I will go, ooh, what about this? And I'll think about something. That's the one thing I do miss, is I don't have my best friends from Mississippi to help me make some sense of some things. Have you ever had a conversation with a friend and all of a sudden they just said one little thing and all of a sudden you went, oh shit, and you realize something? And then all of a sudden, you realize something else and something else. And all of a sudden, whatever was blocking you or whatever you had walls up to or whatever trauma you'd gone through, you didn't understand. And all of a sudden, they said one little thing or you saw a movie or you read a book and you went, oh shit. And you thought about it and you suddenly realized a lot of different things that you hadn't seen before. And once you see it, you cannot unsee it. So I'm looking at a time right now where I'm sitting back and going, okay, so you've been waiting for me. What are you waiting for? And they're still not quite telling me. So I figure it's in divine timing. And just like when I did another one of my little shorts, I was doing a meditation with a gold candle. And at some point during the video, or during the video and the meditation, I heard something from the angels along the lines of, we're not letting you see right now because the time is not right. So everything is in divine timing. It's not always even just divine. To me, divine means like God, goddess, Allah, God if you're a Christian, however you see divinity. And I'm still going, okay, so when? And then I got the rune Kina's reverse at the end of my reading, and it signifies a closing. Mind you, it's the other way around, folks, because going that way, when you look at the rune on the table, it means opening, but I was getting it as close. And so I'm assuming that it means some of the external things that are going on with me while waiting for paychecks to come in, money to pay the bills, getting the car fixed, are all just Mercury retrograde is going to take a little bit longer. Even when you do a working like I showed y'all the other day, you're gonna wait a little bit. So I'm just like, okay, so y'all been waiting for me. What are you waiting for? They're still just telling me stand still. It's coming. So, folks, I don't know what it is, but all I know is I'm not going to beat myself up. That is past. I'm not going to listen to people that are negative and making me feel bad about the person that I am. I am just going to wait on divine timing, because you know what? Once you're, okay, I'm just going to say this a blunt way. Once you are gone, who's going to care if you paid this bill or not? Who's going to care, especially a bill if it was from 5 years ago that's still on your credit report? What's mostly going to happen is the people that love you that are going to now miss you between your death, your funeral, and what happens after, when people come off the leave and of having taken time off to go to your funeral and celebrating you, and maybe family members that are having to go through your belongings, decide what they want, what they don't want, what the will says, all that kind of crap. So time's just not linear, and it's just a matter of wanting to see when they want me, what they want me to do. And I'm pretty sure I'm not the only one feeling all these confusing emotions and things, because angels and spirit guides are just, sometimes they speak really clearly and you understand them real well. Me, every once in a while I understand real well. Other times, I don't know if I have a block or something. I might have a block, guys. I might have a mental block where I've just got too much on the material world in this day-to-day living thing, that I do have a block to understanding some of the things they're trying to tell me. All I know is they've been waiting for me, because they told me that. I literally heard that in my head. And I've told y'all before, I've had one of them, and I think actually it was my niece, tell me in my ear about a reading that the gem goddess did last year, that said, that's the kind of healer that you are. And I went and looked up that goddess of that card, and I still am not quite sure. And I keep telling them, guys, I'm dense as a box of rocks sometimes. But no matter what it is, I know things are changing. I do know the veil is very thin. I do know they're walking beside us, that they're holding our hands. And even people that have passed on that love you, they're here. They're, I've just known throughout my lifetime of people I've talked to that say, yeah, my dad, I smell pipe smoke from my grandpa or whatever. So they are all still there, but I'm just not sure what they mean by exactly what they're waiting for, but they're not going to let me know until it's divine timing. So if you're getting some stuff like that, welcome to the club. I do know that I'm a healer, and anyone that has gone through any kind of trauma, you're a healer, guys, because if you're showing other people how you did it and what your experiences are, even the haters that say the mean things, well, that's maybe because they're one of those pretty people, or one of those people that their lives always goes smooth. They hardly ever have any bumps. And then when something major happens, it's so traumatic that they're stuck in it for a year, 2 years, 3 years, whatever the case may be. So, and most of us have traumas all the time, rather they be little bitty tiny ones like the car breaking down, or major ones like you get a phone call in the middle of the night that your great Aunt Sally, who you just felt a connection to, suddenly passed away without any warning whatsoever. She wasn't sick. All of a sudden, she just had a heart attack. So the angel's telling me that. I'm still not sure what it means, but I'm waiting. And in the meantime, I'm going to keep shining my light. I'm going to keep talking to you guys. I appreciate everything. I try to answer every single comment. And I'm still going to talk about my life. Some people, they try to keep all that shielded. You know, I know several tarot readers, they'll talk about family members or not. And it's because of scammers, because people tend to want to try to take your information and do things to you. People, I'm just saying, I know in my heart, those people that take advantage of other people, they have a special hell they go to. I just feel that with everything inside of me. So practice being a good person every day and doing everything for the right reason, and just being a better person every day and living your life the right way, doing things for the right reason, without ulterior motives, ulterior goals, material goals, whatever. At any rate, I just was starting to go off on another tangent. So guys, I just know the veil between the worlds is really thin. There is spiritual guidance for those of us that have been listening to our intuition and trying to understand it. And some of you, you're understanding very, very well. You're getting literal messages that you automatically can comprehend. Some of us, it's a little bit slower. Even when I do spell work, sometimes I realize today, it can take a couple of days for that energy to engage. Just like when I used to do rune readings for family, friends, and members, my son's friends, people I've been doing rune readings for people for over 20 years. And I would always say this is for a 6-month reading. And sometimes it would bleed over into 7 and 8 months. They would come back 8 months later and go, yeah, you told me that was 6 months. And that was from January to June, but this didn't happen until August. And I'm like, well, guys, nothing is set in stone. So, they would go, but let me tell you what did happen. And they would tell me what resonated with them and what actually came through that they saw. And then they looked at me like, who are you? Where are you from? I'm an earthling just like you. So guys, my message is listen with your intuition, listen with your ears, look at the signs, the synchronicities. Listen, if you overhear a conversation and it makes you go, what? When you get home, if you're at the grocery store and you hear somebody say something, when you go home, listen to it. Because maybe the angels have a special message for you. Maybe your life has been, for the first 40 years, has been, this husband, these kids, this home. Then all of a sudden something happens and you go, what the hell just happened? And all of a sudden you start getting messages. And I've heard of that happening. What if all of a sudden your grandma, who you were really close to, closer than your mom or dad, starts coming through and saying, honey, I love you. I want to tell you something. Don't be scared. Listen to the message. Don't shoot the messenger. Pay attention, because the veil's thin and they're talking to us more and more. So regardless of what they mean for me, of we've been waiting for you, whatever it is they want me to do, I have a few ideas and I'm going to try them out on my channel and see what happens. Maybe some people will look at them and go, this is exactly what I needed. So guys, stay safe. Watch out for the scammers. Don't give out your personal information, like your credit card stuff. You know what I'm talking about. Stay protected, but keep yourself open and listen for the messages from your angels and your spirit guides. Because if you are like me and you have discovered you are a healer and you have gone through some traumatic stuff and you're now trying to help people heal, help them to heal. Tell them part of your story, or put it in a third person format, however it is you want to do it. Tell them about billboards that you saw, or like today I got a message from somebody saying something about a car that they were looking at to buy, and I'm like, you got the wrong person. Mercury retrograde. I got a message on my messenger app from somebody that they had the wrong number. So it's happening, folks. From between now and I think mid-May, Mercury retrograde. Ugh, such a pain in the ass. All right, guys, I love you. I just felt compelled to do this. I hope something in it makes sense for you. It made sense to me, but I'm ADHD, and I have no problem telling people that. All 4 of my kids are. So, guys, if you like this video, like, subscribe, and share. If you know anyone that's telling you they're going through similar BS, or they're having similar confusion with Mercury retrograde, or their job, their boss, their kids, all of a sudden the husband's like acting weird, whatever, that if any of this resonated for you or for someone else that you know, share it to them. Let them say, hey, I know this crazy lady you can go talk to that says she hears angels, and she said something. I think this message is for you. Give it to them. It's up to them to decide if it's up for them or not. Those that are not awakened are not always going to understand. But from someone who was once unawakened, who is now awakened and still trying to figure out the messages, you are on this spiritual journey with me, but you're on your own. I love all my peeps. Like, subscribe, and share, guys. And if I can help anyone else and you know, please, please share the video. Even if you don't like it, even if you don't subscribe it, if it can help someone else, that's my main goal. Lana Scott, Lighthouse. Be a light in the darkness, guys. This is a time when you cannot stand in the shadows. Love to all my peeps.